Well, hello, guys. I'm Shawn Cheek of webpianoteacher.com. We are on lesson 8 of my sight reading boot camp series, my 100-lesson series to get you jump-started in sight reading. And let me just say congratulations for making it this far. You should be happy and proud of yourself if you've made it this far. If you can do this much, then you can do the next little bit. And if you can do that much, you can do the next little bit. We're just going to build on what we know, and I really try not to jump, and get something too hard, because a lot of people will have that one piece that they get frustrated on that causes them to quit. And I don't want to do that. I want to keep you excited, keep you successful with it. And so here is our lesson 8. Let's take a look what we have. So we talk about music theory. When we talked about intervals in lesson 6 or 7, whatever that was, that's music theory, and that has to do with chords and scales and all that. We're going to talk about those things as well. Understanding the language of music will help our sight reading, as well as not looking at our hands when we play, having keyboard awareness. The only way to get keyboard awareness is to not look at your hands and do it by feel instead of looking down, because your eyes have to be up here. Your eyes are getting the information, and if you look down at your hands, you interrupt that process, and you mess it up. So keep looking up. You'll even get so good that when you do make a mistake, and I say when because we all make them, you can fix it without looking down. You can just keep moving, keep moving. If you make a mistake, fix it right there. Don't start over. Okay? Keep going, keep going, keep going forward. It's okay to work on sections, but when you're playing the whole thing through, don't stop. We're not trying to perfect these pieces. We're trying to get our skill level up on sight reading. We don't care about these pieces. These aren't going to be our life songs. We're just using these to help us sight read. So look at them that way. Okay. So dynamics. Dynamics is loud and soft. The volume. And F stands for forte. These are Italian terms. Forte, it means loud. And P stands for the word piano, and it means soft. In Italian, piano means soft. M stands for mezzo, which means medium. F, of course, it was forte. So MF is a mezzo forte. Just so you know that. As we're learning to sight read, I also want you to learn other things, in music, because it's all connected. So I want to talk about dynamics too. But the most important thing is, getting the notes first, and then you can try to work in dynamics. Forte, piano, mezzo forte. So now let's look at the notes, okay? So we've learned intervals. So we're going to apply that here. We're going to look at the left hand first, because it always is the thing that kind of holds us back. So I like to look at it first to get it kind of, under control, and then we can add the right hand in there more easily, I think. So if you have a note here at the beginning, what is that note? And I hope you've played lessons 1 through 7, right? You've done that already today, and you've also did your flashcards or your sight reading app. Okay, so C, right? That's a C. Now we have here a third, but it's not only a third, it's C and E. Remember we did a third with E and G? Well, so is this. This is also a third, C and E. Now we have a C again with an F. So I want you to know C and F, but I also want you to know it's a fourth, F to C. So we did a fourth in another song like this, but this is also a fourth. Distance, the feel in your hand of how far it is from 5th finger to 2nd finger, or 4th finger to 1st finger. But it's C and F 2 times, back to C and E. Okay? Now this is the kicker here. This is a new note. You're going to add this to your flashcard. Okay? You're going to add that top line. What do you think that note is? So right below it is a G. You should know that. So what's 1 above G? If we're doing 1 above G, what do we have? And somebody said H. Oh, yeah. Gosh, the kids would always say that, H. Even an adult would say it sometimes. But we don't have H, right? We start over. We have A. It's an A. So you should know it's an A because your knowledge of music, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, we start over, but also because it's 3 black keys and it's right here. And as you've been practicing, you're playing random notes and saying the letters, right? You do that, right? A, D, just random and saying, oh, that's a G. That's an A. And you reach your thumb up like that. You just move it over one. Okay, it's called a sixth. This was a fifth, C to G, but C to A is a sixth, and it's one bigger than the fifth. And you learn the feel of that. Sixths are beautiful. I mean, so get used to that. It's a sixth, fifth, fourth, C and F. There's C and E for a third. And then there's our sixth again. Okay? All right, now let's take a look at the right hand. 2 C's, fifth. All right, here we go. What is that? A new note. You're going to add this to your flashcards. That one and that one. It's one above a G, so it is an A. Okay, it is an A. And you're going to, I remember having the difficulty as a kid transferring between bass clef and treble clef, going, oh, I wish they were the same. They're not. This is an A here, this is an A here. You'll get used to it. Just hang in there. Okay, it's an A. It's in the second space. Okay, 2 of those. And then back to C and G for a fifth. Here we have a fourth, a third, a second, and then just the C. Fifth, fourth. Okay, you probably recognize Twinkle, Twinkle, right? All right. But when we put our hands together really slow, first thing, second thing. Now, playing these together, you'll have to figure that for a second. There you go. Do it again. Next one's a little bigger. This goes to a fourth. This goes to a sixth. Then we come back down. Then we're going to reach our thumb up a little bit by feel. If you miss it, that's okay. Fix it and keep going. Don't start over. Okay, fourth in the left hand, a second in the right. All right, and then a fifth in the right, a third in the left. 2 of those. Reach it for a sixth. There we go. Okay, so this is throwing you a curveball here. All right, now I just started this with saying I'm not going to try to jump up and give you something too hard. This is harder than the other ones. You'll have to spend more time on this one than the other ones. That's expected, okay? It's okay that this is going to take more time. I intend for it to take more time for you. I intend for you to have to work on it a little bit, okay? It's stretching you a little bit, but not too much, okay? So if you have a whole lot of trouble, separate the hands and then put them together. And stay on it as long as you need to. You're starting to feel comfortable, because part of it is coordination, right? Is getting used to playing both hands together, used to playing a fifth in here in one hand and a third in the other, used to playing a sixth in one hand and a fourth in the other. And it's going to take a while for that to start to feel natural, okay? So give it the time it needs. This will take more time. It's supposed to, okay? So, yeah, there we go on that. Let's go back to the board, and let's try the next one. The next line, before we get going, we have 2 P's. What do you think that means? Pianissimo is what that's called, and it's softer than just a piano. So it's extra soft, okay? 2 F's is called fortissimo, and that means extra loud. So it's more than just 1 F. It's 2 F's. And mezzo, forte, medium loud again, okay? And all these dynamic markings, dynamic just means, you know, the volume, the loud or soft. They are relative. If you play a piano in Rachmaninoff, that can be different from piano in Bach or from piece to piece, from song to song. So they're just relative. I've even seen, some music where it says 4 Fs. What do you call that? Quadruple fortissimo. It just means really, really loud, which would be maybe 2 Fs in another piece. They're just they're relative, but you want to have that difference in loudnesses when you're playing to be able to do that, okay? Makes your music interesting. It's like when someone's giving a speech. Sometimes they're really soft, and then sometimes they punch a note. So volume is very important in music. So be able to change volume. So you can, when I play it here at the end, I'll do the volumes. I'll try to and match the different dynamic markings. But mainly I'm putting them in this so that you know so you get the information, not because it necessarily has to be done this way in this song, because it doesn't. Okay? All right. Here, look at the left hand, right? I want to take a look at it. Fifth. And now I have a C and an F and a G together. Okay? Again, this song is going to take more time on purpose. So third, sixth, fifth, second, C, third, fourth, third, A, G, G. And you might need to play hands separately for a couple of days. That's okay too. So hands together here, right on measure 6, 3, 4. And you notice too, I'm not doing the dynamics yet. I'm not playing super soft because I want you to hear it and I want you to learn it, and I want you to learn it strongly, and then you can try to put the dynamics in there. And I'm also not playing it really smooth. I would rather have you get used to have this motion of your wrist. Okay? So don't worry about playing too smooth yet. Okay? So let's take a look at the last line. Measure 12 and go. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. So again, I didn't do any dynamics yet because I'm just trying to learn the notes. And again, I put the dynamics in this just to give you the information. Okay. This isn't, doesn't have to be done that way. Now let's go back to the beginning. I'm going to put the dynamics in. When I first learn something, I don't play piano if it says piano. I play everything strong so I can get it under my fingers, because the physical aspect of that is so important. And if I do it not strong physically, then it tends to not stick. And I want it to stick because it's a lot easier to learn it really well and then pull back and be piano on it than it is to play it too soft and never have it really stick, and you don't really get it under your fingers that way, if that makes any sense. So that's just me personally. But let's try the whole thing now. I'll do dynamics as best I can. Starting forte. Ready and go. Piano. Mezzo forte. Subtle differences. Pianissimo. Fortissimo. Mezzo forte. Gotta scroll. Mezzo piano. Medium soft is what that means. Little louder. Mezzo forte. Pianissimo. All right, so the important thing in this one to me is not necessarily that you can do all the dynamics, but that you learn the information. Mezzo forte, pianissimo, mezzo piano, pianissimo, fortissimo. know the terms and what they mean so that you're able to do them. So first and foremost, get the notes strong, and then you can try to put some dynamics in there just so you have it. But if you don't put any dynamics, that's not gonna ruin anything for our sight reading yet, okay? So work on that one. Make sure you've done the other lessons. Make sure you've done your flashcards, your app on your phone, and also your random note naming, just by picking a random note and naming that note. All those things are so important. We're trying to start right so we stay right, okay? So it's so important that we do things this way. in the beginning. All right, I'll see you in the next lesson.